Hey everybody, it's the Trout. Hope you're having a great day. You know, I've been lucky to be able to interview people all over this planet that are wonderfully talented musicians. But in this episode of the Trout Show, we're going to stick right here in my home state of Texas, where I interview three very talented sisters that are taking the music industry by storm. They're called the K3 Sisters, or their website's k3sistersband.com. A few facts about these gals. Number one, they have over 2 million followers on TikTok. Number two, over 250,000 people subscribe to their YouTube channel. And number three, they have over 100,000 people that follow them on Instagram. And they have fans in over 50 countries across the planet. Unbelievable. But not only that, they write their own music, they play all the instruments on their own music, they record their music, they engineer it, they produce it, and distribute it. And you know why the fans love them? It's because they love their fans, but their music is provided free of charge on their website, k3sistersband.com. I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to all three sisters as they told me about their life in music and how their parents were musicians and how they continue that family trait. They're very talented, and I think you'll love to hear the story about these very energetic young ladies. So that's up next on The Trout Show. Before we get to that story, take a moment, please subscribe to this channel. If you're a K3 Sister Band fan, like this video, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. So up next, three sisters from Texas that are turning the music industry upside down. The k3sistersband.com. That's next on The Trout Show. But when was the point when all of you said, you know what, we're doing pretty well now, this is it, we made it?
It was something that happened over time. It escalated like the frog in the kettle. We've been doing this for the past 13 years, performing around the globe,
Right.
and mainly in Texas, though. But, you know, the international success moment kind of happened with TikTok.
Yeah.
Because, which we're so thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the year 2020, and I somehow convinced the girls to create a TikTok account. I remember thinking, wasn't this app Musically? Like, people are lip syncing, and we don't lip sync. We write our own songs, so
Yep.
we didn't really know what it was about.
Right.
But when we finally joined, we found that there was a hunger for the youth and the generation of talent. And so we started posting our videos, whether it was skit videos or Harry Potter themed videos, or us singing our original songs in little short snippets, and people loved it. And ever since then, thanks, we've been able to build a giant community. We have people from over 50 countries that
I
come
saw that.
weekly
It's
to
pretty
our
cool.
Saturday live streams. And we're so thankful to the K3SB fam eternally.
And everybody thinks that everything's kind of overnight. You know, that you did this, and one day you said, hey, let's do a TikTok, and everybody just kind of, yeah, let's love him. I said, everybody kind of goes, yeah, you just happened overnight. No. I knew you guys have been doing this for years, right? So,
Yeah. Our parents actually were in a band before us.
Your
And
dad
so
did tell me
each
that,
time
yeah.
we were born, you were born into the band. And I remember growing up where we would have little jam sessions at 3 and 4 years old, and our father had a fiddle in our hands from when we could first stand up. You know how tiny those little violins get. And so, yeah, growing up with music around you is such a wonderful, eye-opening experience to the universe. And our father got us private lessons, and we really, ever since we were born, it was drilled into us. And we are fourth-generation musicians, so you could say it's in our blood.
Yeah, I remember because Kaylin and I were on stage. We each went on stage with our parents' band when we turned around 4 years old.
Wow.
And I remember this one time, Kaylin and I were up there performing, and Kristen was in the audience, and she just couldn't take it. She somehow escaped our babysitter and ran up on stage because she was like, "They're up there. I want to be up there."
Yeah.
So
I was like a caged animal. I had to be there.
How did you decide? I know who plays the fiddle most of the time? Which one of you?
I would say me. I'm like the lead fiddler.
Okay. So did you always once you started learning how to play it, because obviously you kind of all gravitate to the instrument you like playing. Is that your favorite one to do, is the fiddle?
Well, I would say the fiddle is definitely the hardest one to do. I do love the fiddle, but I also do really, really love the electric guitar and how many effects you can get with your amp and like the different sounds you can do with a very light lead and then a very like Carlos Santana type, that kind of thing. So I do like both, but the fiddle was like the first thing I ever knew. So it became a thing of, oh, I can play the fiddle because I started so young. Like I didn't really realize what I was doing, you know?
Right.
But now I do, and I'm working hard at it every week at our live streams.
Is it a violin or is it a fiddle? We know the difference, so don't we?
You know, it really depends on where you're from. If you're
That's exactly
from the
right.
South, you'll probably call it a fiddle.
We
Yep.
call it a fiddle. We
do.
always have. I feel like we always will.
Yeah.
If you're in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle in the band.
Yeah, I have a fiddle. But nope, you don't. None of you play pedal steel. That's probably your next thing you should try to figure out how to do. So you can get that Nashville sound to it.
Yeah, we've thought about that. Our dad plays the dobro, so that's
Oh, I
kind of
love
where we
those.
get that sound whenever we want a Western flair.
Yeah, the dobro's cool. It's a cool sound. I've only played with one person that could play one, and they do have a cool sound to them. So I kind of like to get into a little bit more of the details of your recording because I am a engineer producer too. Who is the main one? I know your dad told me before I go. Who is the main one that runs the board when you record?
I mean, we
Yeah.
are a family-run operation. We all share the things that we all do, but Kelsey is the most knowledgeable when it comes to recording and mixing.
Yeah, I've just kind of gravitated towards it. You know, we have a saying which is famous, but necessity is the mother of invention. And
Right.
so over the years, we've had, these, okay, we got to record an album. So I would just, do the research and, find what we need to do. I mean, this past album we recorded, it was our 13th album celebrating 13 years of being in a band, and you can stream it on our website k3sistersband.com for free. It was so much fun getting to take our songs and record them in our studio.
Yeah.
When you're playing live, it's kind of like you're out on a rowboat on the ocean, and there aren't any safety nets, and that's what we really value is our live sound. But when you step into the studio, there are safety nets, and you can do takes as many as you need to. But a lot of times we ended up doing things in one take, anyways, in the studio. But it's completely different than performing live, but it's fun, and we love mixing together. And
Yeah, when you
Getting
record, you're definitely, building a ship in a bottle. It's very detailed, very intricate, and it's totally different than playing live.
Well, I will tell you this. My opinion is you get better playing live.
We really respect bands' live sounds because that's their truest form. The live sound, and where the crowd is screaming at you, and you're so nervous because you're obviously about to perform for thousands, hundreds, maybe millions of people.
Right.
And it all comes down to that one moment. And when that moment comes, that's my favorite moment because that's when I get to let loose and revel in the fact that I love my fans and the music that we play and that they appreciate it as well.
Yeah, and the more you do it, as your fan base continues to grow and it keeps growing all the time, the more the thing about it is this is why I like performing live. And I just had a band that I interviewed over in Dublin. Love these guys. They're called Noah. But they mentioned on Instagram they did a gig over in Dublin this weekend that the people were singing their song along with them. That's when you know it's the best. When they start singing your song with you at the same time and you're playing live, doesn't get any, especially if you're a songwriter like you guys are. Which kind of lends me to the question,
Yes.
do you guys, when you write a song, does somebody come up with the idea and you kind of collaborate? Or tell me a little bit about how the flow of that goes when you're creating.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the ultimate dream is when fans get to sing your songs with you. And that's one really cool joy of being a songwriter. And our fans in the YouTube chat, on the TikTok chat, some of them have gotten to know our songs so well that they know what instruments we have on. They're like, oh, they're doing this song. I know it. They're doing this one next. They're doing this sting. I see
That's cool.
Kaylin's harmonica and then Bruce is on banjo. So yeah, that's really, really cool. And it's amazing to have people that know your music like that. We write all of our songs, like you said. It really depends. For Kristen, it just comes to her, and like we'll be in the house. We're like, "Where's Kristen?" And Kelsey goes, "She shut the door.
Yeah, she's in there doing something.
She's doing her thing." And we're
Not
like,
gonna
"Okay."
interrupt her.
That's kind of how she wrote our song "Vampires on Gloria Street." Like she sung the whole thing.
Yeah, I wrote that song in like 20 minutes, and it's one of our best songs ever. It hit me like a bolt of lightning, which is how it works for me most of the time. But Kaylin, she's the more, the folk side, the true soft-hearted lyricist, but also with powerful messages. And she can bookshelf a song for up to 4 to 5 years.
I have done that.
Like,
Yeah.
so have I.
Yeah.
And because we want our songs to age like fine wine, they need to be at their optimum taste and hearing, listening,
Yeah.
experience level. We
Yeah,
really try to
but-
pack as
And
much
yeah,
lyrical
we
power.
do work separately, but we also do come together and collab on certain songs, and
Certain
then
lyrics, like "Living in the Nowhere," we each wrote like our own verse to that.
So it depends on the song.
Well, and I understand you never know if you're a creative person, you never know when that thing's going to hit you. You just don't know. And the fact that you can go in your room and shut it and go, okay. But me, I mean, look, and I, even though you guys have written a lot of songs, there's always this time when you write a song, you're going like, is there another one coming? I mean, as popular as you guys are, you have to keep throwing it out there. I mean, because even though you can go back and go the ones you've done for a while, you still, as a songwriters, you want to keep putting new stuff out because that's the creative part of you. But there are times when I finish something up, and the next thing I go is like, I don't know when the next one's coming. And then I'll just start playing around. And you've all been that. You know what I mean? And so, and then you got it, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, wait a minute. Then I start working on it, and then this
Yeah.
is what I was going to say real quick. The other thing about it is how, and this is not a question, it's just rhetorical here. But if you're like me, you've probably got lots of songs that you probably even finished all of you together and went, nah, we don't want to. I've done that where I spend 3 or 4 days or a week on a song, and after it's all done and I got all the tracks done and mixed it down, I go, nah, I don't care. I assume that's happened to you guys because you write so much.
Well, one of the many anomalies about us is that, we. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say that that's never specifically happened. Like when
Oh,
we
that's
all
good.
work on it. However, there have been times where I was, in like when I was younger, first learning how to songwrite, and I was like, man, I'm really glad I didn't bring that one to the table because that wasn't very
It's
good.
the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So that did happen kind of like when I was, like 13, 15, but that doesn't really happen too much anymore.
Yeah, one of the rare things about us is that we are kind of the opposite of what most bands struggle with. They struggle with coming out with that new EP or the new album and not having enough songs or creative data to imprint on that song or project. But with us, it's the complete opposite. We have up to a 40-song backlog of things that we've written, wrote, recorded in a little notebook or on our phones, and that need to be finished. And so we have a plethora of things to pull from. But that's what's hard about it is that you're always starting on that next one, and you have to finish, the specific ones. So it's crazy in the studio.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because not everybody knows how to write a song, and there is a formula to it, as you all know. But then when people come to you and go, "Where'd that idea come from?" I was driving down the street and saw something, or I saw it on TV. They don't understand. And when you're creative, it's like I just don't fight it. And I'm sure As long as you guys been writing music, and you will continually get better. But you, just like you got there saying, you go back and listen to your other stuff and go, man, what was I thinking? But at the
Yeah, I was
time,
in a dark place.
so have you thought about where do you want to go from here? I mean, what do you want to do?
Yeah, we've definitely thought about that. And one of our cool goals that we've been thinking about is doing more hybrid concerts where we do live streams with a live audience in the room where we're talking not only to the crowd here, but the comments too. And we've always really wanted to try that out. That's definitely something on our bucket list because it's great doing our live streams every week, but to have people there actually like clapping for you and singing with you, that would be really cool too.
I like that. Well, eventually you'll all kind of go your separate ways too. You'll do your own thing, and then you'll have your own families, and then you'll be calling your sister, are we going to go to the studio today? I don't know. I got to take the kids out to the park today. And so,
It's going to
Yeah.
take a lot to tear us apart, though. I mean,
well,
we
no, I'm not saying,
are
no.
stuck
I'm not saying
together.
that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, as you get older, things change,
Yeah. I mean, another thing too is like we don't want to be necessarily the mainstream thing because we right now are a do-it-yourself operation. We're
Yep.
a family operation. We like to call ourselves like one hive mind. We all know exactly what needs to be done here, and our system works really great right now. So, as far as like the machine, when it comes to the bigger shows like Live Nation, we would rather not help them. We would rather help ourselves
I
and our
understand.
fans. We love supporting our fans, the K3SB fam. We love sending them certain times. We do merch giveaways when fans don't have the money to buy it. And several things like that. We show their fan art that they send us in. And we just love supporting them in any way we can.
Yeah, my goal all my life has to been to serve the community through my music and the ways I can with positive message that we heavily write into our songs because giving back is what we've wanted to do and the greatest gift that we can give people is our music because we're a band that has something to say and because of that people are listening.
Yeah, in fact, as you guys may know, we give away all of our music for free. It's for free streaming only at our website, which is k3sistersband.com. And if anyone here wants one of our albums, Apple of My Eye, just go to our website and go to the contact page and say, hey, I would love a free CD, and we'll send it to you. Just give us
That's
your
cool.
shipping address. Most people don't buy music anymore. They just have Apple Music or Spotify and use it, and they don't pay for it. They just pay those people instead. So we're going like the other way and saying, just come to our website. You don't got to pay for that.
Yeah, we're
Well,
not afraid to take the less beaten path.
Well, I think I admire when I talked to Bruce. I admired when I virtually had no idea about other than listening to your music and sing a little bit. And then he said, "Do you have any idea how many people they got on TikTok?" No, I don't. No, I didn't have any idea. And I went, "Oh, okay, wow, okay, that's a little." How many you have on Instagram? How many? No, I didn't know any of that stuff. And so that was completely opposite to what normally people I deal with sometimes. They're just up and coming. But we started talking about the music industry since we're closer in age. And you guys are doing what a lot of people would love to do, but they can't figure out how to do it. And that is not rely on the labels and Spotify and Apple Music and all that to help you out when they don't really care. I mean, it's all about, which is always the music business is always about dollars, but you guys got that control, which I think is just remarkable that you got that. And I kind of see in your future where people come to you three and go, hey, how do I do this? Because you're the experts. I mean, you are. I mean, I can't say
Yes.
anything about your success and you continue to grow. I mean, you don't have people in 50 countries, which is, of course, the funny thing to me is you couldn't have done this 20 years ago. No, this would never happen.
Exactly.
So you got the brass ring at the right time in the right place. And so you're cultivating those ideas and making yourself bigger and bigger because you love what you do. This is the one thing I tell everybody. And I could tell by watching your videos, you love what you do. you're having fun doing what you do. Because if you don't, you might as well stop. Everybody I talk to, whether they're in a band or not, they love it. And you guys obviously love it, all the time. So that's cool, because I hope you keep that going, because sometimes people lose that drive. Here's a good question for you. If you could perform anywhere in the world, where would you love to perform at live? Somebody said, ladies, I'm going to pay for your band. I'm going to pay for your travel. I'm going to pay for everything. So one country you would love to play, or it doesn't have to be another country. It could be in the United States.
Right. So a lot of our fans are like sprinkled all throughout the entire globe. So like if we were to go to like a certain state here in the US, like I honestly don't know. It wouldn't be a big venue. It would be a small venue where we could be really cool with the audience and really get to see them. However, if we could go to one specific country, I know it would be England in the UK.
Really?
UK.
A lot of our fans are in the UK, and we've always wanted to go there too because Harry Potter was based in Scotland and in England, and a lot of our fans are Potterheads like ourselves, and so we would just have a ball over there, and
Yeah, that's one of our top demographics, analytics wise, is in the UK. So we'd love to visit our fans there and play for them. That'd be so much fun.
But as far as a specific location to play a concert, I know one of my dreams is to play at the Hollywood Bowl, because we have a song that we recently wrote called Rock and Roll at the Hollywood Bowl. And getting to sing that song at the actual Hollywood Bowl would be so incredible.
I know, I dream of that. I love that.
What would you, if Daniel Radcliffe came in there right now, what would you want to talk to him about? If you could get over the fact that he's in the room with you.
Right. Well, it's really cool you bring that up because we have gotten several video messages from other cast members like Bonnie Wright, who played Ginny, and James and Oliver Phelps, who played the Weasley twins. They've seen some of our videos, and they've even heard some of our Harry Potter songs like Queen Bellatrix, and that was like such a fangirl moment for us, obviously. We couldn't believe that happened. But if we were to talk to Daniel, I would genuinely have a conversation and ask him, like, are you happy right now? Are you okay? Like, his face is like the #1 famous face in cinema history. Like, everyone around the world knows he's Harry Potter. Like,
Yeah.
And so I would be like, have you fully recovered from the trauma? Because the reunion special that recently came out on HBO Max kind of exposed that they were very negatively affected as well from being so young on camera, having to grow up on camera and not fully live their own lives. They lived Harry Potter. And so I would just ask him that. I would love to have a really heart-to-heart conversation like that if I had the opportunity to.
It would be so great to meet him. I've heard stories that he is very fun to meet. He's a very humble guy, so that would be really cool if we got to meet him one day.
Recently, it's been getting really more like what you said. We get recognized in public a lot. We've been dealing with it for a while now, but we recently got invited by Warner Brothers to go to Graceland to do some filming to help promote their new movie Elvis that was coming out last summer.
Oh, yeah.
And we were getting a tour of Graceland, Elvis's house, and we were being asked, like, can I have a photo? And being recognized right by Elvis's grave. And so we were like stunned,
sure.
like, okay, let's walk over here. But yeah, it is something that we're still getting used to. But we really do love our fans, and we love getting to give autographs and take pictures with them.
Yes, we always make time for our fans. If someone comes up to us in public, we always try to make it an experience for them because we truly love our fans and we don't ever want to shortcut them. So we always take pictures, do autographs. We love meeting our fans.
They're the ones that make it happen, don't they? They're the ones that make it happen.
Exactly.
And this is honest time, sisters. This is the honest time. What's the best part of being a K3 sister? What's the best part?
The best part, one of the best parts about being a K3 sister is that you are a K3 sister. I mean, we know each other the most that anyone, like we all know each other the most. That
Yeah.
if that makes sense, that we all
Yeah.
know.
It does. No, I
me-
I
and so
understand.
like we know exactly kind of the mood. If we're not in the mood to do something, we don't force it. And if something's really gelling, they are some of the best and most fun times that we've had in our whole lives. And so just being as close as we are, I think that's really cool. And then obviously like
The satisfaction of creating content with
Yeah.
my sisters who I love. We get to work together. You know, it's great. I
yeah.
love doing it.
And
with you
having a fan
guys.
base that actually cares what we make is really cool. Like
Yeah, to me, it's everything. I love the aspects of everything that I get to be a recording engineer, a sound system technician, and myself all at the same time. Because getting to choose what you love as your career has been one of the greatest opportunities in my life. Because I am doing these things with not only my sisters, but my best friends by my side.
That's
and
cool.
that's an extraordinary thing that I take very close to heart.
So the opposite is, what's the worst part about being a K3 sister? There are always
what's funny
good
is, like,
bad
some of-
things.
Yeah. Some of the bad things about being a K3 sister is being a K3 sister. We sometimes need more help when it comes to separating the sister side and the bandmate side. I can tend to be really short with them because I'm the oldest and that's just how I am. And sometimes I that happens and I have to take a step back and say, guys, I was being a jerk here. I'm sorry. But in the end, it was for the best. Like the thing I said was actually helpful,
Yes.
but I could have done it in a better way.
Well, we are perfectionists. We like getting the best thing that we can, doing our best is basically it. So I can understand that, Kaylin.
Yeah, and sometimes, I steal Kaylin's clothes and she doesn't like it. We argue about clothes and jewelry, but that's about as far as the arguments go. We don't fight very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk it out because we're sisters and bandmates. And I feel like because we are sisters and bandmates, that has deepened our relationships with each other.
I agree.
Because we are the only ones that really understand just how crazy this is. And so
Yeah.
I like being there for them in that sense, as a sister and a friend.
And it's two things. Kaylin, I love your boots, by the way. I think those are really cool. I don't know. Those are,
Thank you.
Hey, are you a fashionista as well, Rick?
I'm not going to say. I'd ask you
You're
what brand
hiding
they
it.
are, but we're not going to go there. Anyway, but you know what? Here's the
I
thing.
can smell it, Rick.
So here's the thing, though. Being in bands my whole life, there is a side to me that's a band person, and they can be friends. And the other part about, and this is what you guys got going on for you, two different things that's really great. There are always internal jokes that only the band members get, right? You have stuff that happens to you that you can say things and everybody goes, what are they talking about? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
got
we may or
that.
may not have a secret handshake.
I would expect if you don't have one, you should make one up. But the other part of it, then you're sisters, so you're already figuring the maturity part where you're separating yourselves like that. But I admire and applaud the fact that you already are mature enough to figure that out. That I'm a band member, but I'm also a sister because band members we're unique. In my last band, there was a 4-piece, and I brought a new singer in because he was much better than I was. And we would tell jokes. He'd look at me like, I don't understand. And I said, about a year, you'll understand all the jokes. So just like you guys, because you have the inside joke stuff, and even stuff that those other people that are in your videos don't actually know either, because you're sisters and you have that secret side. So
Right, sure.
so let's just, I don't want to take up much of your time today. What's the big plan for Christmas then? Whether that's got to do with this or not, do you have a big family? Do you have people to get together that celebrate Christmas, or what do you do?
Yeah, you're not taking up too much of our time. We love talking to you. This has been such a great time getting to have this conversation, for sure.
Appreciate it, ladies. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
For Christmas, we are actually planning on Christmas Eve. We are planning a surprise premiere on our YouTube channel because we normally do concerts every Saturday, but because Christmas Eve is on Saturday, we didn't want to do a concert. Instead, we're doing a surprise premiere on our YouTube channel for the fans, and we're not going to say what it is yet, but
No,
I know
don't tell
they're
me.
really going to like it.
Wouldn't
It
be a
shows
surprise
more
then.
of our personalities, and yeah.
For now, the plan is to spend Christmas and the holidays with our fans, the K3SB fam.
Yes, we will be chatting with them during these premieres because that's what we love to do. We chat usually like an hour before it starts, and then we chat through the whole video, and then as long as it'll let us chat afterwards, we will stay and chat with them, and they know this.
Yeah, we really value the connection that we have with our fans. We want to take the time to talk to them, whether it's about our music or pop culture. That's why we do a TikTok after party after our concerts where we get to really, it's like that post-show crazy mayhem. So we get to let that out with
No,
them.
some crazy stuff happens at the
It's
after
always
parties.
the after party that all these things happen. Like, it's crazy, but they love that, and so do we.
Well, here's the thing you got going on for you. You're already ahead of the game of so many other people. I mean, you really are. But I always say this to everybody I interview. The one thing you don't talk about too much, and I see this from everybody I visit with, you're all talented. You're very talented, ladies. And I don't blow smoke up people too much. I don't tell them that. I tell you that because you are. And all I want to
so
know.
much,
Thank you
Rick.
so much.
Thank
Well, it's
you.
true. And the other thing is, I wish I had half of Kristen's energy that she has. Just half of it.
Don't we all?
Yeah, the scientists are still trying to figure out how to extract it. It's still a mystery.
Bottle it up and
Yeah.
send it out.
But I'll
I'd
let
say-
you know when they do.
I can imagine if she had a cup of coffee, what she'd be like. Oh my! I'd be like,
She
Yeah,
can't
that's what
have coffee past noon, or else she'll be
Yeah.
up all night.
okay, so
They know
It's
this because
ridiculous.
it's happened.
We made that terrible mistake of letting her get a coffee, and it was like 7 p.m. She was up all night.
I
I'm not
was.
kidding.
I almost saw the sun rise, but I didn't. I went to bed at 5 a.m. I was like, it's 5 a.m. I'll hit the hay now. But, had a little dance party, wrote a couple songs. That was it.
We give her matcha now, which is more
yeah.
subtle.
Our
We give her
fans
matcha.
know we love drinking matcha.
But yeah, the energy all stems from Kristen's love of just wanting to do her best. And that's what we all strive to do. We all work super hard to continue what we're doing. And like you said earlier, it's because we love doing it. And we love music. And we love the positive messages that we get to share with people. And just that connection is really important to us.
Yes, Kristen's energy though is so contagious in real life and on stage. Like sometimes I'll be like, tired on stage. I'll look over at Kristen and she's, jumping around. I'm like, okay, I gotta do this too, Like you have that. It's very contagious being around you.
has she
Yeah,
been
I
that
like
way? Okay, has she
channeling
been
that
that way her whole
energy.
life? Has she been that way? You're obviously the older two sisters. She always been that way. Yeah,
Yes.
I see her
Why,
shaking
yes.
her head. Yeah, yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. Now, and I wanted to ask, which one of you plays drums? I mean, all of you do, but who usually sits in? You do?
The energetic one.
Yeah,
That's
there's that
perfect.
stereotype that the drummers are the craziest. And maybe I am feeding into that stereotype. I don't know. But yeah, the drums is something I've really been experimenting around with lately. I seriously got into them about 3 years ago. And it started off with a cajon. And, playing a beat when we were doing our coffee house tour, I was playing cajon and we had a more soft folk sound. But then recently, it's almost been a year, I was able to acquire an electric drum kit. And so that has added this little bit of spice into our sound. And it's constantly morphing because I've got this kind of techno sound sometimes, but then I can change it to literally any drum I want. And so that's really helped in our developing sound stage. And our fans are really excited to continue seeing where
Yeah,
that
and it's
goes.
kind of like a hybrid drum set because we do have some acoustic elements to it. We have like an acoustic
right here.
hi-hat and cymbals plus the all electric elements, so it's really cool.
Kelsey, what do you normally play when you guys get up and play?
Well, I play many different instruments: acoustic, electric guitar, fiddle.
What's your favorite, though?
But
What's your favorite to do?
My main instrument, my favorite is probably the bass guitar. I've been playing for a few years now, and there's something so special about the bass because in a lot of our songs, the bass is what leads the song. It's like the backbone, the foundation. And I love doing very intricate bass, bass lines in different bass solos. And because some bassists tend to get kind of simple.
Boring.
And you can play the bass very simple, but I like to add some spice and, add extra notes. So I love playing the bass. It's a lot of fun.
I just want to tell you a couple of things. First off, congratulations on your success. Wish you a very prosperous 2023. I do want to turn the TV
Thank
on
you
one
so
day and
much.
go, there they are. I told them. I'll send a message to Bruce. I'll say to Bruce, hey, remember and keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I admire you. I can't do it because I'm not your age, but also it's just I just play different kind of stuff. But you guys are continuing much success in 2023, and I just have wonderful feelings about you. And you're all Texans. We must stick together. We must stick together.
That's right.
Yes.
This is our motto. It goes like this: I will always believe in myself and celebrate my life and the lives of others.
I will respect the music and customs of others as long as they are not harmful to anyone.
I will stand against bullying of any kind and choose love over hate.
Hashtag K3 motto.
Treat others how you want to be treated, so just be nice. Ba-ba-ba, ba-shoo-ba. True friendship and love, they are all the same price. Ba-ba-ba, ba-shoo-ba. When you're having fun being yourself, they will try to put you on a shelf. Even though they may look pristine, you can see on their faces all shades of green. Yeah, green with them there, green with them there, green with them there, green with them there. You are one of a kind. Don't you ever walk the line, 'cause what they'll find in time is you're in your pride. No matter where you go, they're all looking at you. Ba-ba-ba, ba-shoo-ba. You've got a special style that is all the way true. Ba-ba-ba, ba-shoo-ba. You are loved and it's easy to see. You are living your life so free. But when they see you on the screen, you can see on their faces all shades of green. Yeah, green with them there, green with them there, green with them there, green with them there. You are one of a kind. Don't you ever walk the line, 'cause what they'll find in time is you're in your pride. greener than there, greener than there, greener than there, greener than there.